Okay, so Mr. Papa Phil Gonzalez is who we have here today. And Phil's actually just wanted to talk about the new hires training program a little bit here today for anybody out there who is looking into it. And Phil, I guess I want to let you sort of introduce yourself and let everybody know, how long you've been in this business and kind of what your role is and everything, so they kind of know where you're coming from first.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I am Phil Gonzalez with Source One Restoration, and we are a storm restoration company that does fire, water, and smoke restoration as well. We operate out of a regional area of about 400 miles radius from our central location. I've been doing the storm restoration stuff for about 6 years now. And prior to that, we were a general contractor that renovated hotels around the country in the Caribbean, and was a home builder and high-end remodeler and investor up in Kansas City for a number of years. And so we got into this several years ago, like I said, and we're looking to kind of add new systems to our business.
Excellent. Yeah, Phil has his stuff together for anyone who's wondering. This isn't one of those we work out of the back of our van situations. He's really diversified his company and his market, and I was just kind of looking for some things to add. So I guess really, what were you looking for when you found Roof Sales Mastery?
Well, to be honest with you, I had been looking for a while a company to provide us a good sales system, a replicable training system that we could implement into our company for our sales managers to actually train new hires on a consistent basis, that everybody was on the same sheet of music. So what we did is we hired a consultant and had her come in and was going to, feed her the information. She was going to, put it on paper into a format that we could train with. That really didn't pan out real well, so we let her go. And we hired another company to come in and do the same thing, and ended up with the same results. And so, I was on the internet one day on Facebook, I think, and I saw something that said Roof Sales Mastery on it. And it had like a $7 hit on it for something or another. I'm not even sure what I was looking at, but I was kind of in one of those, modes like, what do I have to lose? Let me just go ahead and click on this real quick. And lo and behold, I talked to Becca and had a brief conversation with her for a while. And so we decided to take a gamble, and I'll say that loosely, take a gamble on this young company that had this sales training to offer.
Yeah. Well, and I've said this before, and I mean it with love. Phil, you were a tough egg to crack there in the beginning. You're like, I'm super skeptical. I don't know. Like, what were the concerns or skepticisms, I guess, that you had? Because I get it. I'm like a 12-year-old girl, and you're like, what is this chick going to teach me about anything in life?
Yeah.
So what were kind of your main concerns?
The skepticism I had was, I've been out looking for, consultants, what I would consider a consultant anyway, somebody that has a history of teaching and training and taking this particular niche product and putting a training schedule to it.
Yeah.
So when I talked to you, I was like, well, this is a new company. It doesn't sound like, she's very old. What would she know about our industry? And so, that was the questions that I had initially on it. So, of course, I was going to be extremely skeptical. I've dealt with a lot of people. But I'll tell you the reason why I really pursued you guys is because of the history you guys have in other corporate markets. With Trent being a corporate trainer for 7 years for selling in a door-to-door environment or high sales volume environment, that made a lot of sense to me. Especially in that industry, there's such high turnover. So it has to be a replicable system that you put in place.
Right.
And for the fact that you guys had been out in the field and done sales yourself.
Yep.
That those two combinations right there, I was like, what do we really have to lose? Pleasantly surprised. Extremely. I was pretty much just blown aback because for what I was looking for, it is exactly what I found with you guys, and it was just by pure luck, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have been able to find you any other way.
Right. That's awesome. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's really your overall, if you had to describe your overall experience with like the material and then really even just the dialogue? I know that a lot of people they really like being able to ask questions and have that personal coaching and stuff. Like, I guess
Sure.
your overall experience with that and the value that you got out of, the material and the coaching.
The value is definitely there. I personally would have charged a lot more than what you guys charged us
Yeah.
for this, based upon the value that it provides for us.
Mhm.
I would have been willing to spend probably 10 times the amount for the value that I see in it. What we received out of it is seriously a 100% put together system, selling system
Mhm.
that I can give to my sales managers, train those guys, and they can go out and train other new hires right there with a great booklet, a great guide
Mhm.
to follow through step by step. And also you have a very good tutorial for the sales manager themselves to teach from.
Right.
So it's a twofold system. It's really good, really hands-on.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you love
Yeah.
it. And yeah, the field
Yeah, I do.
manual, as far as it's not just the training program itself, like with the new hires
Hmm.
program, it's like there's a field manual for the actual
Right.
trainees, as well as like you're mentioning there. Like I forget that we even had it as a part of it, but it's like a
Yeah.
trainer's guide. So it's not like
Oh yeah, that's extremely valuable, to be honest with you. Um, what that does is, that gives you a step-by-step process of how to break up the training itself to where you're not, boring guys to death in the first place.
yeah.
Number two, you're implementing specifics that you have to stick on schedule. It's easy for a guy to get up there and start talking and
Right.
get lost in whatever he's saying and not stick to a specific schedule. So that really helps break that up as well,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. And yeah, I think it's really valuable.
Excellent. Well, very good. I guess really the only other thing would be, like who would you recommend this program to?
Well, obviously it's the roofing industry, storm restoration in particular. I would recommend it, as an owner. Obviously, I'd recommend it to any owner to implement into his system right there.
Yeah.
It's going to alleviate a lot of headaches he currently has if he doesn't have a system in place. It's going to streamline things. It's going to actually probably answer a lot of questions that he might have, especially if he's a younger company, on what he may be doing right or wrong.
Right.
Even if it just gives him a few ideas. I would also recommend it to, obviously any sales manager that there is out there. I would also recommend it to, your top leading salespeople.
Yeah.
For that advanced training. It's always good to get somebody else's opinion, especially if they're in that field of, consulting, or if they're in the field of researching specific material and putting it together.
Right.
So that's really important and valuable as well.
Excellent. Well, Phil, thank you so much for giving us some info here and your feedback. It's going to be so
Absolutely.
valuable for other people to be able to hear your experience with it and so on. And so glad that you guys found what you're looking for your company. And I'm super excited to see it kind of get into action. And
Yeah.
it's going to be cool.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm glad I found you guys too. And, I know you guys will have great success in what you're doing currently.
Thanks, Papa Phil.
You're very welcome.